Hello and welcome back to Sarah's Joyful Journey. I'm Sarah Joy. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad that you took the time to join us today. In today's video, we're going to learn how to kiss my keto. So what does kiss my keto mean? It's going to mean keep it simple, sweetheart. We don't have to make keto super complicated at all. I know that it can be overwhelming with macros and carb counting and calorie counting and all these things. So I am going to give you some simple tips just to keep keto simple, stress-free, and sustainable. If it's not sustainable, we aren't improving our health the way that we want to improve it. So the first step in keeping to kiss our keto is going to be, you're going to focus on whole, real foods. So you're going to eat meat, poultry, veggies, seafood, things like that, things that are one ingredient type foods. This is fantastic because it makes up the bulk of the nutrients that you are going to get from your food. And it keeps you from having to read labels, count carbs, all that kind of things. Just super simple, nice and easy is going to be the way to do this. Step number 2. All right, step number 2 in Kiss My Keto is going to be keep your carbs low and don't overstress it. So if you focus on eating the real foods from step number 1, you're naturally going to keep your carbs low. So you're going to avoid foods like pastas, grains, sugars, items that turn into sugar quickly. You're going to avoid those starchy vegetables. You're going to fill up again on meats, green leafy vegetables, and some other low carb type vegetables, broccoli, green beans, things like that. And when you do that, you'll find that you're naturally going to keep your carbs pretty low. For keto, the suggested range is going to be between 20 to 50 grams of total carbs a day. And again, remember, we're wanting to keep it simple. Don't worry about net carbs. Just count total carbs if that's what you're counting. I know for me, I don't count carbs on a daily basis. The bulk of my plate is going to be my protein source. Then if I want some veggies, I add it in, and then I add a little bit of healthy fats, whether that be avocado, which happens to be one of my favorite ways. Adding butter, olive oil, and vinegar on a nice leafy green salad is fantastic. So just keep it super, super simple. Tip number 3. Go ahead and keep those meals simple. When your meals are simple, you don't have to think about preparing lots of things in advance. You don't have to worry about taking a lot of time to cook your meal. When they're simple, they're fast to cook, they're fast to grab, and they can keep you marching in that direction. So what I like to do is I cook the same type of foods over and over and over again. If you've watched any of my other videos, whether that be Joyful Life, what I eat in a day videos, what I eat in a day videos, they're all going to show you how I simply eat a lot of the same things over and over and over again. I have my favorite foods that I keep on hand. This is ground beef, bacon, eggs, butter. Rotisserie chicken is currently a favorite of mine, and I turn it into a bowl with just a little bit of cheese, some pico de gallo, and guacamole. It's beautiful, perfect, simple. I don't have to think about it. I just put the ingredients together and cook it. It's really fast to cook bacon and eggs, and you don't need to make it complicated. The more complicated you make keto, the harder it is to sustain keto. So again, that's the other reason why we want to keep it simple, sweetheart. When we keep it simple, we are going to succeed and be able to sustain it and achieve those health goals, which is why we started in the first place. Number 4. All right, for tip number 4, don't be afraid of healthy fats. They're going to provide you with all the fuel and the energy you need to run your body and get things going. Now, it does take a little bit of time for you to be fat adapted. It can take several weeks, which can lead to you feeling sluggish when you first start on this journey. But trust me, don't ignore those healthy fats. You're going to want to make sure that you get them into your diet. In a keto type diet, they do need to be the larger portion of what you're eating. But it doesn't have to be complicated to add them. And there aren't that many of them. Well, there's a lot of them. But again, keep it simple. Add butter to your vegetables. Cook your eggs in bacon grease or butter. Bacon is an excellent source of healthy fats. Use beef tallow. Kind of try to stay away from cheese because cheese can be a problem. But you're going to want to use olive oil on your green leafy salads. All those things are ways to do it. You can also get plenty of fat in your diet through eating fatty cuts of meat. One of my all-time favorite meals that I eat at least once a week. I wish I could do it more because I probably would eat it every day if I could afford it. But I love just a nice fatty ribeye with a little bit of butter on it, and I am all set. If I'm wanting something extra, I'll throw some veggies on there or I'll have some eggs. But usually it's just super simple ribeye steak. Ground beef is another one that I'll just add butter to, and it's wonderful and fabulous. Number 5. All right, for this next tip, I think this is one that is overlooked too often, and it can lead to feeling awful. It also plays a role in that dreaded keto flu, which most people don't want to deal with. And that is staying hydrated and remembering your electrolytes. When we are on a keto diet, we are going to be losing water quicker. Carbs, for whatever reason, they help us hold on to water. When we don't have them, we're going to shed that water much, much quicker. So we need to make sure that we are replacing it. You don't have to set a certain amount, a goal per se of how much water that you want to drink. You just need to drink according to your taste and make sure that most of your beverages are going to be water. That is my primary beverage that I focus on every single day. I do have coffee, one a day. I do have tea. So tea usually every day. Coffee is not always every day, but I'll have tea. I'll have coffee. I will occasionally enjoy a Zevia, but most of my liquid is going to be water. The next part of that is do not ignore your electrolytes. Electrolytes can be added to your diet by making sure you're eating foods that have plenty of salt. Salt is not your enemy here. You can make sure that you have plenty of magnesium and potassium. Eat potassium-rich foods. What I like to do is I like to supplement my electrolytes on most days. I'll show you my favorites. So my favorites happen to be salty electrolytes. And I love to combine these two. This is the cherry chill and the lemon lime twist. It tastes just like cherry limeade. And I will have 1 or 2 of these packets most days. If I'm not active, I usually only need 1. If I'm super active and I'm out in the Florida heat, sweating it out, then I will have more. I'll have 2 or 3 of these a day. I think one day it was a super hot, rare day, but I think I had 4 because my body told me that I was going to need that. So if you want to give these a try, there is a link down below for Keto Chow where you can save 10% and help support this journey. There are other brands where you can supplement electrolytes too, such as LMNT. I think Keto Brains has one. Just make sure that they are not sweetened with any sugar. And stay away from the Gatorade. It's not really helping you the way that you think it is. I would use one of these, just add it to your water, easy peasy, tons of different flavors, and then you just get it done. I usually make my electrolyte water first thing in the morning, and that's my first Stanley of water is going to be. These can be mixed in 16 ounces of water. I usually mix mine in 40, just because I usually drink at least 1 40-ounce Stanley a day, and then I make sure that I have my electrolytes on par all the time. I can tell when I have missed these and I haven't done it, because I do start getting headaches. I do start getting fatigue. I do start having muscle cramps. So yeah, definitely don't miss out on those electrolytes. You need them more than you realize. Tip number 6. This is our final tip. Don't overcomplicate it. I know that we've been talking this whole time about keeping it simple, sweetheart. But yes, don't overcomplicate it. Definitely keep it simple. Don't overthink it. You don't have to worry about counting calories, counting macros, counting carbs. If you focus on those whole real foods, you're naturally going to stay in that range where you need to be. It's when you start adding keto products that have been pre-made and are marketed towards you as being keto, or if you're trying to eat grains and sugar and things like that, that's when you realize that carb count is pretty restrictive. But it doesn't need to be. You don't need to have all this other stuff. Keep it very, very simple and straightforward. And that will keep it sustainable so that you can achieve your long-term goals. It's not so much about what we've been taught, calories in, calories out. There's different types of, 100 calories of Oreos is not the same thing as 100 calories of broccoli. So make sure, again, that you're just focusing on those whole, real ingredient foods. Then you don't have to think about it. You don't have to do a whole lot of pounding. You don't have to do a lot of stressing or anything that. It just keeps keto sweet, simple, and sustainable. And that is our ultimate goal, so that we can keep our health in check. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and I'd appreciate it if you would share. And I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again in following videos. Have a wonderful and joyful day. Bye for now.